prepare to be amazed. It's incredibly difficult to even begin the discussion of Lorelei and the Laser Eyes. It's one of the most mysterious games I've played in some time, and it's essential that I avoid as many spoilers as possible for you, the viewer, as I believe this is a game that needs to be played to be believed. But before we even attempt to dissect what makes Lorelei so alluring, please consider taking a moment to head over to patreon.com/idreamofindiegames to net yourself some fabulous perks like Discord access to our amazing community, early and ad-free content, an exclusive podcast, and even free games at some tiers. Your community is waiting for you. This is Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, the 9th game from developer Simogo, a cryptic third-person puzzle game that follows a young woman who is invited to a mysterious manor in Italy to participate in a peculiar project. Or is it an art exhibit? A crime scene? Well, that's for you to uncover as you make your way through the game's environments, piecing together memories to gain insight on what you're truly experiencing. Again, I do not want to take away any of the joy of discovery should you decide to experience Lorelei for yourself. So let's just say the memories you uncover as you progress weave quite a labyrinth of intrigue. Nearly everywhere you turn in Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, you'll find a new puzzle, over 150 of them to be exact. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is to video games what Oops All Berries is to Cap'n Crunch cereal. Okay, maybe that's a mild exaggeration, but what fun is a review if I can't use absurd metaphors, am I right? The point is, you're going to really need to put your problem solving and observation skills to the test if you want to make progress in this mind-bending video game. Also, you're probably going to want to take notes. Trust me, it helps. Not many games I've played start out with not just a tutorial, but an in-game instruction manual. Lorelei opens at a car parked in the middle of seemingly nowhere, where you'll receive a full-on manual describing what to expect and how to make the most of your playtime. From there, you'll wander your way to the aforementioned manor, where you'll become increasingly more confused before things even start to make any semblance of sense. This game is cryptic to the extreme, but I am absolutely here for it. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes feels more like a challenge to its players than a simple puzzle game, almost taunting you into believing you may never find the conclusion you seek with its unending riddles, winding corridors, and padlocked doors. Yet, because of this, every puzzle you solve feels like an incredible victory. By the time I was 30 minutes into gameplay, I had several notebook pages scribbled full of years, patterns, numbers, symbols, and names. You would know I solved a puzzle because I would let out an audible "aha" as I circled the correct solution, feeling like a bit of a self-aware conspiracy theorist being proven correct. Navigating our protagonist around her environment can feel a bit clunky, though seemingly intentionally so. Your perspective of her switches from room to room, imitating security camera footage with possible paths highlighted by subtle arrows on the ground. You are able to find a map for each floor, though predictably you'll have to solve some puzzles to obtain them. Without spoiling too much, there are moments when the perspective changes entirely to varying effect, seeming to transport you to another moment in history. It becomes harder and harder to pinpoint where in time you actually reside, and the changes in gameplay provide some small respite from the constant onslaught of puzzles, even if they slowly dissolve into puzzles of their own. Luckily, we have a photographic memory, which means we keep a mental catalog of every note, sign, map, and memory our protagonist recovers throughout our playthrough. Even so, I did still find that taking notes was beneficial as a quicker reference for potential puzzle solutions. From this same memory menu, you can also access a small portable gaming console with built-in calculator, check on our statistics like body temperature and caffeine level, and check your ever-growing catalog of things to do. Not all puzzles require solutions, and the game is non-linear, meaning you may solve puzzles in a different order than I did, and some puzzles will remain unsolved by the end of a run. Progress is saved at an antiquated computer that is scattered about the manor, providing a brief moment of reprieve as you save and track your progress and collect your thoughts. These computers can also be used to examine the contents of old floppy disks you may find lying around, so to speak. Though I have not played Simogo's prior works, I've been immersed in the indie gaming scene long enough to recognize the not-so-subtle references to the developer's other titles that Lorelei throws at players. The Easter eggs are such a fun way to honor fans of their previous titles and helps to ground the world of Lorelei in some semblance of reality, which in turn further blurs the line between fact and fiction. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is incredibly stylish with the mostly black and white aesthetic punctuated by splatters of red. Has this color palette been done before? Many times, but there is something that feels so fresh about Lorelei's approach, with a visual style that I can best describe as artistic artifacting. The intentional noise created by textured light and shadows in each scene is so captivating to the point that sometimes I would wander the grounds and halls just absorbing it all. There are clearly dark themes and imagery here, but it is so alluring in its imagery and style that I often forgot I should be disturbed by the imagery I was observing. The mixed media style, including photographs and various graphical styles, made for constant surprises and visual interest. The soundtrack and overall sound design is phenomenal as well, further enhancing your experience. Eerie piano paired with haunting, otherworldly sounds that appear straight out of the afterlife, shattering glass, footsteps, everything you could possibly want out of a horror game is here. To be totally honest for a moment though, my absolute favorite sound in the game was the computer sound in the save menu. There's something so nostalgic and transportational about those sounds that I couldn't help but save frequently. While there's not really any voice acting to speak of, the writing, pacing, and general story is so immersive that I honestly couldn't recall whether there was auditory cues there at all. There's such an interesting world here to take in that my mind was easily able to fill in the blanks. To me, lack of voice acting is always better than mediocre voice acting, so I am definitely a fan of this decision. If you saw a trailer for Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, or even had a passing interest in the game based on something you read, get your hands on this game as quickly as humanly possible. It's the best puzzle game I've played all year, and possibly one of the most challenging and rewarding puzzle games I've ever played. This is not going to be a game for folks that are more action-oriented or less enthused with the idea of pushing their brains to the limit. Lorelei and the Laser Eyes is a game that is going to suck you into its universe and keep you invested, scribbling numbers and patterns and symbols like a madman until you reach your resolution you so desperately seek. It's visually hypnotic, sonically gorgeous, and a must-play for puzzle game enthusiasts, which is why it is receiving the Golden Genie Lamp of approval from me.